Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. Welcome to a live edition of the Cruise Show. Let's talk about everything that's going on in cruising for your face on a Wednesday, Wednesday the 6th of August, 2025. And well, let me show you this. This is I'm on the MSC World America, about midway through the cruise, and this is my view today. It's a sea day, y'all. Look at that. The seas are calm out there, my friends. Shall we just rest in this for a minute? Sailing keeps me away where I want to. Shout out Ludacris. All right, so what is happening on a Wednesday? Who is in the house? I saw my lovely wife, the Jenny B. Gosh, I miss you, Jenny B. I'm glad you are in the chat. I really don't have any topics today. I just thought I would come and we could talk about MSC World America, or we could talk about anything else that you want. But I did just want a chance to catch up. Some people have been asking if I'm staying in the yacht club. This is just a standard balcony cabin. It's very nicely decorated, but yeah, so just a king-size bed. There's a couch behind me, of course, the artwork, and then you've seen the view out the balcony there. So nice. So nice. All right, so I did see this question from GTO Cherry. How crowded is the ship? Are there lines everywhere? How early do you have to be at the theater? Not sure the size of ship is for me. Thank you. GTO Cherry, this is a very large cruise ship, and there's over 6,000 passengers on board. Sometimes there's a lot of people all together, like especially on deck 6, which is kind of like the main deck. In the evening, when things are happening, there are people everywhere. The nice thing about the theater system here is that you pre-reserve your shows. Now, if you don't get a reservation for the show, the nice thing is they have a standby line, and I'm assuming that's really where the line's going to happen. But I've been going to the 9:30 shows, and I've been showing up at around 9:05 and grabbing a seat. And the nice thing, both of the venues that they have for production shows, the main theater and the Panorama Lounge, have really kind of large person friendly seating. So it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day. You know, a lot of times cruise spaces, they don't have a lot of great seating for people that are fluffy friendly or heavy or obese or tall, that kind of thing. But really, when you think about the demographic for cruising, you know, there's a lot of big people that cruise. So I like the fact that they've made some accommodations for that on this cruise ship. There's a lot of good general seating that's comfortable. There's also a lot of great seating in the theater and in that Panorama Lounge for people of size. And I've been enjoying the shows have been fantastic. I'm kicking myself. On day one, I could have reserved a show, Whitney Houston show that was in the Panorama Lounge. I didn't really have any idea what those shows were going to be like, and I hear those are fantastic. So at 8 p.m. tonight, I'm going to go jump in the standby line for that because I don't have a reservation. I have a reservation at 9:30 for the big production show in the main theater, but I do want to see that Whitney show. But that's a great question, GTO Cherry. Let's see. If you have a question, just type question in front of it. It'll help me pull it out of the chat. And if you could, maybe hit the like button if you're in here checking out the content. Sean White, was there an upcharge for Italy, and was it worth it? Yeah, so the charge, I've done 2 specialty dining restaurants. So I'm here on invite from MSC. So they provided me with some specialty dining, and of course they provided me with the cabin. I'm not getting paid anything beyond like the cruise and some of the things that are on the cruise. And so, you know, and I have tagged all my content that it's sponsored content. But I just want to say that on the front end so you guys can take that in mind when you're listening to these things. But yeah, if you were coming here and you were paying for Italy, it was $55. Italy is a large like restaurant chain around the world. So Italy here on the MSC World America is the first Italy at sea, and it's that Italy experience. And so certainly I think $55 is probably less than what you would pay for it on land. And so if you're into that level of specialty dining, I think it's a good value. I also did the butcher's cut. That's also a $55 charge. That's the steakhouse here on the MSC World America. And the steak was really good. It was very tasty. Tonight I tried Paxos, which is the Greek restaurant. And I believe the charge on that one's $49. Those are the only specialties I have booked. They also have like a Mexican restaurant that has for-pay food. They have a sushi bar. They have a full sushi restaurant. They have teppanyaki, but I don't have any of those planned. And then there's a lot of included food. So like lunch today, the place that stays open on deck 6 is called Pizza and Burgers, and it's like a pizza and a burger buffet. The burger side had burgers, hot dogs, chili, nachos, hot wings. They had fruits. They had desserts. They also, I know I'm forgetting something, French fries, like I said, hot wings, hamburgers, cheeseburgers, chicken sandwiches. On the sea day, that opened up at noon today. That's what I had for lunch, and it stays open till 2 a.m. I think on the port days, it just opens in the evening and stays open late. But in the port days, up on the Lido, there's a hamburger and a pizza place that's open during the day. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Databetic, thank you so much for the super chat. Liking the stream. 25 XP. I guess you're in first place. That whole point system's pretty, like, you know, I don't make these rules. YouTube does. But I guess if you want to be top of the leaderboard, commenting certainly does it, and super chat certainly do it. Kevin Elms asked the question, what internet connection provider are you using to stream video? So I have their stream plan here on MSC. I don't know if they use Starlink or not, but the internet's been good. You know, I've been able to upload videos with a reasonable pace. I've been uploading pictures every day. I would highly encourage, if you want to see, I've posted a lot of pictures of this cruise ship. I'm taking a bunch of footage, right? So there's some guidelines for the footage I can take, and you know, those kind of things. So I'm taking a lot of footage. I have to go home and compile a video, but I have been taking a ton of pictures. So if you want to see some visuals of what's going on, make sure you follow La Lido Loca Cruising over on Facebook. That's where I'm posting those. I am posting some short form on TikTok and on Facebook under La Lido Loca. So if you want to see some stuff like that, today was a pretty cool surprise. At 2 p.m. they had a Lego parade. So they had a Lego character parade. I wasn't expecting that. They do have a partnership with Lego, and I've seen some of that on board, but that was pretty neat. The Truth Realty, have you done a video tour of the ship yet? I have not. And I probably won't be able to do that walking and talking type video that I normally do. I don't think that's the thing that they're looking for. So I'm more capturing footage, and I'll go home and I'll talk about the footage. So, but yeah, I might try to get some walk and talk in. I might pop up like at 3 o'clock in the morning or something when the thing's empty, and I could probably do a walk and talk then, but I'll have to set my alarm for that. It's a wildly big and beautiful ship. It's very modern. And I've said it all along, MSC has some of the best hardware in the business. It's pretty interesting. Beverly Judica, based on your videos of the ship, does this one remind you of Royal? Seems like a lot of similarities, not a bad thing, but I guess MSC is trying to figure out what the majority likes. Beverly, so I keep saying it, I think there's inspiration on the ship from Royal, and there's also inspiration on the ship from Carnival, and there's also, you know, it doesn't seem odd to me that people would look for what's the best across all these cruise ships and then bring those designs in. But certainly the Panorama Lounge, which is a multi-use space that opens up during the day and you can see outside, turns into a theater at night. It does remind me of some elements on Royal, some elements on Carnival. The open promenade, that's definitely feels like Royal. It's a mix, but then it also has that MSC flair on top of it. And they've got some really, I tell you what's exciting me on this ship is the technology. The app is rock solid, and then they have some really cool like arcade experiences, VR experiences. They've got, of course, like up on the sports deck, they've got bumper cars. There's a lot of interesting things going on this cruise ship. Suzanne Stein, how does the pizza compare to Pizza on Princess? Look, Jenny B and I fight about this all the time. Jenny B has always been an ardent MSC has the best pizza at sea opinion. And I always argue that I kind of like that prosciutto pizza on Carnival. I definitely like the cafeteria style, remind me of high school pizza Sorrentos on Royal. I tend to agree with Jenny. I think this pizza that I've had a couple slices this week, and it's been amazing. I mean, it might be the best pizza at sea. So the challenge is I'm back on the shot, right? So I've been taking Zepbound, and my appetite it's wild. Whatever that medicine does to you, it really kind of tweaks your appetite. So even in the specialty restaurants, I'm only eating like half of my food. And the people, I tell you what, when you main dining room, I ate half my food. I think I did eat a lot. Well, I didn't even eat the full steak in the steakhouse. I only ate half of my food in Italy. And it freaks people out. Like, they're like, is there something wrong with this food? And you have to reassure them, like, no, there's nothing wrong with the food. So it's pretty wild. Like, you know, I'm just having a bite of pizza or a bite of a burger just so that I can taste it and know what it's about. But it's, it's kind of hard, but it's good though. It's good. Yeah, yesterday I had a fairly decent meal on the buffet, and then as I was leaving, the pizza caught my eye, and I paid for it because if you overeat, it hurts a little bit. So, pretty wild. Everything just jumped. Question from Terry From: how is the food? Hopefully you haven't touched on this yet. Oh, we're kind of talking about it now, Terry. No, food's been good. It's been hot. It's been tasty. Service has been good. So I know sometimes there's a knock on that for MSC, but they're doing it pretty well on this ship, I'll tell you that. And then the selection on the buffet is really good. So I think really with MSC World America, I feel like this ship is particularly geared toward North American and sailors, North American cruisers. And yeah, you can tell. You can tell. Let's see. Thanks, Les. Yeah, the challenge, and not to make it about GLP-1s and that, the challenge still is this insurance that I have. So the Zepbound, fortunately, is also a treatment for sleep apnea, but I don't, my blood numbers aren't very bad. Like, I'm morbidly obese, right? But that's the craziest thing. When if they ask for me to get the Zepbound based on obesity, they look at your like A1C and your blood sugar and that kind of, all my stuff's in range. And so the insurance company doesn't approve it. And so we're going through this process now. I've had 4 shots of the Zepbound, and we're going through a whole approval process again. So it's kind of an annoying thing, but that's insurance. That's the way it works. Clem Lowe's, will you be on Star of the Seas next week? No. What's wild, I didn't realize when I was in San Juan the other day that somewhere in the vicinity Star of the Seas was there, and then some people are starting to get on Star of the Seas. I think Jay the Shiplife's getting on there. Matt from Royal Caribbean Blog is getting on there. I'm sure a lot of other people are getting on there. My first sailing date on Star of the Seas is the 20th of August. And then the Naughty Cruiser had a cabin booked on there. Our friend Mike Gormley, we're neighbors. He had an opening in his cabin, and he had like a really good deal on the casino. So I'm going back for a week sometime in September for Star, but I don't remember the date on it. But the 20th through the 23rd, myself and my brother Steve's going to go on there. And it's pretty wild because Steve's never been on a brand new cruise ship, and he's never been on Royal. So this should be a little mind-blowing for him. And that happens over my birthday, so that's going to be exciting. But that's on the 20th. Question from Anna De Leon. Question, do you use an app like on other cruise lines, and how well does it work? This app works really good. I mean, the nice thing, for me, what I want from the app is I want to be able to see all the events that are going on in a reasonable way, and I want to be able to mark them. And so it has the daily agenda, it has your personal agenda, and it does a great job if you tag something and moving it over. All of your dinner reservations show up there. All of your booked excursion stuff shows up there. You can book excursions through the app. They've really done a good job with the app. You can't order food or anything on the app, that kind of thing. Like, I think Princess still leads the way with that, but yeah, it's a good thing. I saw a question about Jenny. Oh, Trace, do you talk to Jenny B every night? Jenny B and I do a lot of stuff. So we FaceTime a lot. We're using the video calls on WhatsApp. And then probably, Jenny, I don't know how many years, we play this game on our iPad called Wingspan, and it's a port of a very popular board game. We've probably been playing that every day. We play the best 2 out of 3 every day for like 2 or 3 years. So we've already had our Wingspan session today. So it was good. Now we stay in touch a lot. But I don't necessarily like cruising without Jenny, and Jenny doesn't like me to be gone. So it's a weird thing. It's kind of like I don't know. I'm glad to do this. I'm thankful that I was invited on so that I can show this stuff to you. But I kind of don't really like being apart from Jenny. So there could be changes on the horizon where I don't do this like this much anymore. And if it means maybe I don't get to show you guys all of the new cruise ships, then that might just be the way it is. But I just sometimes we're hitting day 4 or 5, and I'm like, this is fun and it's amazing and I'm enjoying the ship, but I kind of wouldn't mind being home with my lady. So it's a weird thing. I'm again grateful for the opportunity and grateful that I get to show you guys this stuff. But at the same time, cruising by yourself isn't that exciting sometimes either. So question, all the MSC ships out of Florida, monster ships, do they have any 3K passenger? I think Divina is out of there. I don't know how big that is, Les. And or Divina used to be out of there, and the Meraviglia is coming down. I don't think that's a huge ship either, but I don't know. We'd have to do some research on that. We'd have to do the research on that. Yeah, I see Jenny. Yes, I did win the match today. We won all 3 games today, though. Jenny won the first one, I won the second and the third. Guy Scarlett, when you come into the UK waters, thanks for the great content. I don't know, Guy, but I do love that cruise. I mean, I'd say one of my favorite cruises of all times was the British Isle cruise. I loved all those port stops, and I would love to get back over there. So you got to figure that out. I wouldn't mind actually spending some time on land over there. So we'll have to see. Let's see. See if there's any question. Bill, are you on Luna next March for the inaugural? I don't know, Bill. I was there for Aqua, and I don't think I've made the people at NCL mad anyway, but maybe. No, I'm still in good graces with NCL, so I might be on there. We'll have to see. Jason Shaw, is Dr. Edith still the cruise director? Yep, he's still the cruise director, so yep. How was the new cruise terminal? Man, it's nice, Kevin. Yeah, I forgot that I was going to a new cruise terminal, and then I rolled up on it. It was beautiful. Have I had any coffee not from the Emporium, like from a bar? If so, how was it? Yeah, Marvin, I had a iced latte today at the... there's a bar, I can't remember the name of it, but they do trivia there, Dolce something. They do trivia there, they do music there. That's where I like to go and sit and play Jenny, because they also have bar service there, and so they bring me my Coke Zeros. And today I noticed they had those espresso machines in there, and I was like, oh, can you make me a coffee? And they did. So that was delicious. And then I don't really drink the brewed coffee at the buffet, but Jenny B has had that on multiple MSC ships, and I think she thinks that that's the best brewed coffee at sea or buffet coffee. So they do have a like a emphasis on coffee on the ship, and it's pretty good. EGCW Wrestling Live, how are you liking World America? I like it. Again, it's got, you know, for me, my cruising profile is I like live music, I like good production shows, I like a variety of food, and it scratched all of those itches. So I've gone and seen multiple live bands. They've got a few trios here. They're even playing jazz in the hallway, which I like. The biggest challenge for me is, again, I'm nursing my bum knee a little bit, and this ship is huge. And so I've been doing a lot of walking, and that's been a little bit of a challenge. So for both of the port days, I just kind of stayed in, because I do have some scheduled excursions on Ocean K. Now I'm confused, but whatever. Perfect day at Coco K, so that means we're supposed to say Key. Ocean Key, I do have a couple excursions. One's a paint and sip. I'm excited to paint another picture. I had a good time on a Holland ship painting a picture. So I think we're going to sit beachside like at 9:15 in the morning and paint. Maybe we'll paint that lighthouse. And then I've got a tour around the island on a tram as a second excursion. So I'm trying to save that outside walking for that. Plus I want to get some outside footage of the ship, external footage. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Again, it's big, so you got to take that into consideration if you're somebody that whether you like it big or not. Question from Chris Holmes: first cruise on MSC on that ship in October after your first 24 after 24 Royal. How does the service compare? I think the service is pretty equal to a Royal cruise. On a cruise-by-cruise basis, sometimes you get bad service, but I feel like in the major lines, Carnival, Royal, Holland, Princess, MSC Celebrity, I feel like the level of service that you get is usually pretty commiserate, like pretty similar. But I've had some really good service on the ship here, so it's, I don't think you would be disappointed in it coming from Royal. Dean Johnson, I'm new to your channel. What was your profession in your prior life? Dean, I worked probably 25 years in IT. I started out as somebody who worked on like a mainframe, and then I've done everything from network admin to SQL Server, but I spent probably the last 10 or 15 years of my career leading IT teams. So my last job was for a Fortune 500, and I was a global operations manager with teams in the US, in Europe, and in Asia. We ran a 24/7 follow the sun support model and controlled data centers, stuff like that. So IT was my bag. It was wild when I finally left that job. It was like the first time in 25 years I was not on call, which was wild. Let's see. Christine Douglas, great to see you live. Who are you excited to see on the Comic-Con 2 cruise? Okay, this is going to be a stupid answer. I'm excited to see 4 of my kids on that cruise. I've never, cruising's really been about me and Jenny, and we've been slow to bring kids on board. And on that one, we've got 4 of the 6 with us. So I'm excited. They're all nerds to the 12th level. So I'm probably excited to see the Lord of the Rings guy. But oddly enough, that cruise is shaping up to be more about cruising with Jenny and the kids and their significant others than anything. Yeah, the Comic-Con secondary, which I do need to get excited about it because it's not cheap, especially when we're paying for all those kids and their significant others. So. Rocket Records, what's going on, Joe? Man, are your AC woes over? I was looking today to see if you had any new records. I did miss an opportunity, Joe. I was in San Juan, Puerto Rico, and my knee was hurting pretty bad. I decided not to go out, and then it was after we left that I looked up and I'm like, oh, I could have went to a record shop in San Juan. I definitely would have liked to find a First Press. I hope you guys are doing good, Joe, and I hope your air is getting better for you. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's very kind, my man. I'll make sure to come back and spend $20 at Rocket when I get home next week, which is absolutely true. 20 and more. Joe's just paying it forward. I'll be in there giving that 20 back for sure. That's right. IT nerds rule the world. What's going on, Michelle Forbes? Glad to see you here. Just make sure you miss any questions. Keith, hey, what's going on, Keith? Keith is getting on the Mardi Gras on Sunday. That'll be a good one. I answered the Comic-Con question. Well, let me ask you guys this. So I was thinking about doing a video for my Tony Barnett channel about YouTube, like answering YouTube questions. Is that something you guys? Well, I'll make a poll here. Let me make a poll. How do I do that? Start a poll. Would you like to see a video of me answering questions about YouTube? Question mark. Yeah, so I would probably put that on the I'll put that on my Tony Barnett channel if there's enough interest there, and then I can make a list of questions. Let's see. Dean Johnson, you're one of a kind. I'm 6 weeks into recouping from my knee replacement. What were your challenges? I haven't had a knee replacement. My challenges are I don't know what's wrong with my knee. So I've had 2 shots in my knee. I did 6 weeks of physical therapy. I finally got an MRI, and I don't know what's up with it. So I've got a doctor's appointment when I get back. Of course, the shots made it feel good for a little while, but today it's hurting. So. Let's see. Christine Douglas, what plans do you and Jenny have for the How 250th? Yeah, so that we did book that How 250th, which is next year on July the 4th, 2026, and it takes out of Boston, and it you spend the first day in Boston Harbor for the Boston's fireworks show to celebrate the 250. Then you go up to Halifax, and then you come back and you do 2 days in New York. That's the only plan we have so far, Christine. We haven't, we're going to New York in 2 months, and we haven't made a plan for that yet. So we did get exciting news, though. If you're on our October group cruise on the Princess ship out of New York, we've got just a private karaoke for an hour, which is going to be fun. I can't wait to see people in the group do some singing. Swanging. Shout out Ludacris. Question from Just Joanne. Can you compare the World America with the Meraviglia? I know it's newer and bigger, but what are the main differences or similarities? So it was right after the restart that I went on Meraviglia, so I'd have to think about it. I mean, the bigger is the big thing. There's no, so like on the Meraviglia and the other MSC ships, they have kind of more of a traditional atrium, and they've got that atrium bar and that stacked up place where people, stacked up atrium where they have performers. They don't have that. So this is more like a promenade type scenario without a traditional atrium. The ship's wider, certainly, but I tell you, one of the amenities that I like on this, I don't really remember much about the Meraviglia. Oh, okay, here's 2 differences. On the Meraviglia, they had the muster drill where you had to sit in your cabin until they rang a bell. Then you had to climb down all the stairs and muster. On this one, it was very nice. You just walk in. It's like all the other ones right now. You just walk in, you scan your card, you go find your muster station. They help you find your muster station so you know where to go in the event of emergency. You sign your card, scan your card, and then you watch the video. That's a much better process. And then I don't remember what the pool was like on the Meraviglia, but the pool here is a huge pool and it has 0 entry. So right in the middle of the pool, you can walk in and it has stairs that you can walk down. And again, if you're a big person, a lot of times you avoid the pool if you're worried that you're going to have to climb out of a ladder. So you're always looking for these 0 entry scenarios. And that's definitely the case here, which is nice. Nice. Let's see. What was that? All right. Mike D, thank you so much for the super chat. Going on my second cruise, New England to Halifax in a few weeks, did my first to Bermuda in April, and now I'm hooked. There you go. Congratulations. How was Bermuda? So we haven't been to Bermuda yet. We're going next year on that very first cruise from Philadelphia Freedom over to Bermuda. That's going to be kind of fun. Let's see. Have you cruised a small ship like Windstar or Paul G? No, Paul Gauguin. Anna, we haven't done anything like that luxury. We've smalled on some sail cruise ships. We've sailed on some small cruise ships from ocean cruise, like, from modern, I don't know, Carnival Paradise probably has around 1,000, but never on anything that small. I'm a little funny about the luxury. Like, I'm not that luxurious. I don't want to be taken care of that well. I don't know. I don't like to be bothered over, and I don't like a lot of interaction with people. And so I feel like on those cruise ships, I'm not going to get the big production shows that I like, and I think I would have a lot more interaction with people than I would want staff-wise. And so I don't know that it's my kind of thing, but everybody who does like those kind of things, I've heard good things about. Let's see. Beth, thanks for being new and watching, and we appreciate you. Let's see. T.H. Hooper, did you ever live in Paducah? My mom grew up there and still has a brother that lives there. I never lived in Paducah. I lived in Nashville, Tennessee for close to 30 years, and several of my kids lived in Paducah, so we've been to Paducah several times. Sergio Santos, thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for supporting the channel. Hoya DeFore, are you in the yacht club? No, this is just a standard balcony. I think I probably could tour the yacht club, but I'm kind of funny. Like, if I'm not in it, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see how the other half lives. So there's a lot of people that have been out in the yacht club, and definitely you can see that footage, but you're probably not going to see anything from me about the yacht club. Did you ever do a cruise passenger talent show and juggle, or just get up and dance? That's a great question, Joe. No, I haven't. The answer is no, but it was funny because on the planner today, they did have auditions for an MSC talent show. So I guess at some point in this cruise, there's going to be a guest talent show. And I almost, my juggling balls are at the office, and I got about halfway to Miami when I realized I didn't bring them with me, because I really want to do a better job of trying to juggle in interesting places, like go up on the pool deck in front of the weird statues out there and maybe get some juggling in. I just didn't bring any juggling props with me. I brought a foldable piano to practice the piano. I brought some Rubik's cubes, but I forgot my juggling balls. But I even looked on Amazon to see if I could get some juggling bean bags delivered to like one of those lockers. But no, that would be interesting. Let's see. Databetic, did you do the vow renewal on Margaritaville at sea over Valentine's? If so, have you noticed changes in the relationship? Ours just seems to get better and better, Databetic. I don't know if the renewal had anything to do with it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I don't know why it keeps getting better, but we're lucky that way. Let's see. Dean, are you going to instigate a live stream dance or juggling today? Nah, probably not going to do any live dancing or juggling today. I don't have any juggling props, and it's a little hard to move these cameras around if you want to see me dance. Sam Spencer, have you ever cruised P&O? I wonder if you'd be okay with many Britishisms, as Emma would say. I would like to cruise P&O, but I haven't yet. And I've talked to Emma about it a couple of times, like how different is it? And it would be neat to see it firsthand. Josh, question, have you ever thought of a transatlantic on the QE2? Not really, or QM2. I think, Cunard is one of those places where you have to dress. They're a little strict on their dress code. I think they're starting to be a little more relaxed on it, I guess. But, the nice thing about the transatlantic on the Queen Mary 2 is the frequency of it. So it's almost a nice, if you don't want to fly over to Europe, it's almost a nice way to know that you can get back and forth over there. I think that would probably be the motivation to do it more so than just do it. So, question: which MSC ship are you and Jenny on in the 2-minute lead up video to your live shows? That is Seaside. And then I've been asked this question a ton this week and I can't remember. So we've been on the Seaside and we've either been on the Seashore or the Seascape, and I get them confused. Let me look on the Shipmate app. Shipmatius, brought to you by somebody. Okay. MSC World America, that's the one I'm on currently. MSC Seashore back in January of last year. So we've been on the Seashore, the Seaside. I think we've been on the Divina and the Meraviglia. Wow. Meraviglia was back in August of 2021, and Divina was in February of 2020. Divina might have been the last one before the shutdown. Me, Jenny, and Don on the Divina. Inagata Divina. Shout out Ludacris. Question from Janetta Wilson. Taking Alaska cruise next... Oh, where'd it go? Janetta jumped on me. Taking an Alaska cruise next... Oh, and then it went away. Use apples to juggle. I don't have any of those either. But yeah, I don't think I want to carry apples out by the pool. Any advice on getting into the IT field? You know, certifications are a good way to go. Of course, I've got a son right now that's studying cybersecurity. He's doing it through college. But if you're just somebody who's self-taught, look for the CompTIA certification, Security Plus, Network Plus, A+, and at least that gets you something on your resume. And then look at small businesses in your town, and if you have some sort of skills that that you feel like you could be helpful with, that could also help you with your resume. Flexenvor, how are you liking the boat so far? Yeah, it's nice. Again, it's big, it's new, and there's a lot to do on it. I got up early yesterday and walked around the top decks, just trying to see all the stuff, and I feel like there's still more to see. So it's very nice. David Shaw, thank you so much for the super chat. Super chat, super chat. He's super chatty. Yow. Let's see. Nalan Simba, are you enjoying the World America? First impression, yes. What would be my impression of the cruise ship? No, it's good. It's good. Images of Princess cabins look very dated. What's your thoughts? I was on the Sun Princess last year and they were fairly modern, so maybe it's the ship. Like if you're looking at a Princess ship that's 10 or 15 years old or 5 years old, maybe. David, thank you for the reminder. Yeah, if you guys can smack that thumbs up, that'd be solid. What camera do you use for the videos that you make? When I'm in the office, I have a Sony A7C that's mounted. Right now, I filmed the last 2 episodes on my DJI Osmo Pocket. A lot of times when I'm walking around the ship, I will film with my phone. And the camera that we're looking at now is actually the FaceTime camera on the MacBook. On the MacBook. Good question, Josh. Mike D. Double up with a deal, most definitely. I'm Mike D. I like the deuces wild. Okay. Booking directly versus a travel agent. Booking my cruises directly was easy enough. So what incentives, perks, benefits are there to using a travel agent? So the biggest thing for me is basically you have somebody who researches your cruise for free and can give you a lot of options. Now, not everybody wants that, but to me it's like a mechanic. I would rather go to somebody who's fixed my type of car 100 times than watch a video on the internet and then do it myself. There might be some nuances that I miss out on. The other thing is a lot of times travel agents have access to group bookings, which means they possibly have bookings that are less expensive, but not always. They may have access to onboard credit that they can give. But I think the big reason to use a travel professional is somebody who can advocate for you, that it doesn't cost you any money. And most of the time they have way more experiences booking cruises than you do. So we use our partner, Where's Walter, to book our group cruises. He's booked thousands of cruises. Whenever we're not using Walter, if Jenny's going to book our cruise, just on her own because she's not a travel agent anymore, but she's booked thousands of cruises. So I'd much rather ask Jenny to look up something for me than me trying to figure it out myself, because I've booked maybe 5 cruises or less myself, And so I'd rather lean into the person that's booked 1,000 cruises than to, use, I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy and that I can get stuff done. But at the same time, I'm not naive. I know that the expertise of 1,000 booker is a lot better than my expertise. So that's kind of it. But again, the beautiful thing about cruising is the flexibility. Like if you want to, you just book stuff yourself. Is the Osmos a good camera? I have a Pocket 3 traveling with a scooter. It's nice. It's like on a little gimbal. I'm really interested in the new action cam that they have out. Of course, all the influencers that do cameras are pimping it out, so it always gets me. The marketing always gets me, but it's a nice looking camera. They just put out a 360 cam, and I already have the Insta 360, but I kind of like this Osmo 360 because the biggest challenge right now, at least for me, I don't make a lot of short form content, and that's a different aspect ratio than long form. Long form's kind of like 16:9, and then I think short form's opposite of that, 9:16, that vertical. I want a camera where I can just shoot one time and then cut it either way, long one or a short one. Let's see. Question, what software do you use when you go live? I use the same software for going live as I do for recording the video. So this is called Ecamm Live, and it has a stream mode, but it also has a record mode. So at my studio, I have a camera hooked up by USB to, well, it's actually hooked up by HDMI to that Sony camera, and I can just push a button on my computer and record, which is nice. I don't have to change batteries. I got a continuous power to that camera. I don't have to change batteries. I don't have to change memory cards. It just records directly to my hard drive, and then it's the same software, and it will record in 4K. Whenever I go live, though, I bring the resolution down to just 1080p so it's not a strain on the internet connection. But yeah, Ecamm Live, it's a monthly subscription or a yearly subscription. I've used it enough that I need to switch over to the annual subscription, but I was like, hey, I'm just going to try it for a month, and I think that was like 3 years ago. I pay $38.99 a month. Tuluit editing software I use is Final Cut Pro. And then when I do short form, I'll use CapCut, but I'm not really good at short form. Christine Douglas, do you know if Don started? Yeah, I texted him the other night and wished him safe travels. I feel like since the videos we're seeing are like tip videos and stuff that's pre-recorded, I feel like, and I saw a picture on his Facebook of him on a plane, so I feel like he's there. I feel like he's on his way. And I don't know if this first week with the Africa, if we'll see any content from him. So I'm excited to when he gets. I want to see I want to see Don in Africa. I'm really excited to see Don in Africa. I do want to give a quick call out if you guys are unfamiliar with it. We have the Cruise Talk Network channel. And that's had a lot of names, but that's the latest name. But the idea is not only can we put our podcast on there, but we can also maybe put other people's podcast on there, kind of make it like a network. But I did just recently upload a new podcast with my friend Tommy Casabona from the Always Be Booked Cruising Podcast. And we spent about an hour and a half talking about all kinds of craziness in cruising. So if you guys want some extra content, there's a good hour and a half for you over there. Tommy and I chopping it up. And one of the big things we try to solve is how do you deal with bad cruisers? When it's an aggressive thing. So David Stoffel, I'm going on a Pair DJ cruise in Tampa in October, and I'm going down the day before. Where's a good place to eat in the airport cruise port area? Tampa, we live about an hour from there, so I'm not keen. I don't eat a lot in Tampa, but I know there's probably some good Cuban restaurants there. Anybody got good Tampa food recommendations? I'm not sure. Not sure. Yes, that's right, Jared. He blessed the rains down in Africa. Question, Larry asks, how's the casino? It's pretty looking. I haven't played any casino games. I'm on a pretty long streak of not gambling. I don't know. I'd rather buy Lego and albums instead of, I like gambling, but I found that I like gambling more when I didn't have as much money. It's a weird thing. I don't know why it's like that. I'm not sure that, it's a debate, and I know my friend the Naughty Cruiser would probably disagree with me, but I'm not sure the juice is worth the squeeze when it comes to blowing money to get free cruises. I almost feel like, at least in my experience, it's cheaper for me to just buy cruises than to gamble for cruises. And so I don't really have a big incentive to gamble. Again, I feel like I gambled hard maybe last year or something like that, and I was like, I could have done so much different with this money. So I don't know. I'm kind of changed my mind on the gambling, but I still think it's fun. What are you most excited about seeing on this cruise? I don't know. Maybe I've seen it already. Like the entertainment does it for me. I saw the Queen Symphonic show, which may be my favorite show so far. That was really cool. And then the Odyssey show that I saw the other night had all kinds of circus art. So it had jugglers, it had strength acts, it had acrobats, it had aerialists, it had trapeze work, it had singers and dancers. The entertainment's the thing I'm most excited about seeing on the cruise, and I've seen a lot of great entertainment. And then the seating has been fantastic. Like, unfortunately, on some of these last Princess cruises I've been on, I've just been jamming myself in these seats and uncomfortable trying to see great entertainment. This has been amazing. It's been super comfortable and seen really good entertainment. So I think it's there. Question, realistically, how long is the drive from the Orlando cruise port to the Tampa airport? Has somebody ever given you an unrealistic answer to that question? I don't know. I don't know if I've driven from the Orlando cruise port to the Tampa airport, but I've driven from where I live to Orlando, and realistically, it's usually about an hour and 45 minutes. I can say from my house to White Castle in Orlando is about an hour and 45 minutes, but I would just, if you have GPS on your phone, just put those two locations in there, and it will probably give you a very realistic like time frame. It will change though, depending on when you drive, because the GPS will, but it will tell you about like right now what it's like. Question, what is the one thing you look forward to on your next Alaska cruise? Which port did you like the best and why? Netta Wilson, I mean, Alaska, each of those ports offers something different. I love whale watching. I go every time, and a lot of times it's the same experience, and it still makes me feel awe and wonder. So that's Juneau for me. So I'm always looking forward to Juneau. But I feel like Ketchikan and Skagway are just some of the best walking around, feeling like you're in a place kind of place. And so I'm going to say whale watching just to give you an answer to your question. But all three of those ports, I'm always excited to get off the cruise ship. Dean Johnson, any passengers recognize you on your cruise or in the past? Yeah, a lot. I got mobbed at White Castle the other day. Like, I was shocked, and I don't know what counts as being mobbed. I don't know how many people were in the White Castle when I showed up. So what happens is when I'm at home for a long time, I forget that people know me, unless somebody runs into me in the streets or something. But a lot of times I don't go anywhere else. But man, when I popped out in the White Castle the other day, I think I got recognized by 6 people. So I'm like taking photographs in the White Castle. And so, I mean, maybe 6 out of 50 people is not a lot, but it felt like a lot. And then, of course, on the ship, if you're out anywhere, get recognized. Crew members, passengers. It's amazing, though, because it really reaffirms to me that people like the show. And every time that I run into somebody, I'm like, oh, wow, I feel lucky that I get to make the show and that people like it. So it's an interesting thing. I'm a little bit of an introvert, and so I have to get myself kind of hyped up, and then if I people too much for too long a period of time, I have to escape it a little bit and try to recharge. But I don't know. Over the years, I've gotten pretty good about staying in the cut with people. I do say it though. I'm only good for about 5 minutes, and then my eyes start glazing over. It's just the way my brain works like that. And I'm even like that with Jenny sometimes. Like, she'll have to take me out of one conversation and bring me back into it because my brain's constantly doing this. Like, that's what I was explaining to somebody's like, oh, why are you liking jazz lately? And I'm like, I don't know why I ever didn't listen to jazz, but I like poppy boppy jazz. I feel like that's the way my brain feels all the time. So I think that's why I like it. But yeah, I'm definitely like when I'm talking to a stranger and after we've got through the cordials and I've been able to thank them for watching the show. If it goes way much longer than that, all of a sudden I'm fading out, and I feel bad about it, but it's just, that's the way it works in my head, Let's see. Illusion, don't faint. You wouldn't faint if you met me. It's really not that big a deal. Let's see. Traveling with a scooter. Any tips on doing some info video for folks on mobility scooters? Like tips on doing the video? If you're out on a cruise ship on a mobility scooter, film the heck out of that and put it on the internet, because we get questions all the time. I think that's an underserved audience, honestly. People are like, oh, what about mobility scooters and what about disability stuff? And I'm like, I don't have any experience with that, so it's hard for me to speak to it. So yeah, I think I definitely think there's a need for that information out there. All right, so I don't know how many of you guys are on Facebook, but you can follow me, Tony Barnett, the name Tony Barnett on Facebook. I'll probably put a post up. I'm just looking at the poll. I'll probably put a post up asking for. I'll put it on La Lita Loca too, but I'll ask for specific questions about YouTube that I can make a video to answer. So please try to follow me. If Facebook's probably the easiest place for me to ask and get those answers. So there you go. Question from Dan G. In the years that you've been cruising, what's the worst and best change you've seen on any cruise line? It's tough, Dan, because I'm such in the moment. Like, what's the worst? I mean, I kind of love cruising. Yeah, I think the best change that I've seen is the better internet. Like, that's a big deal for me because the way that I do YouTube is I try to make stuff frequently, right? Like, there was a time where I was just a daily uploader, and I need the least amount of friction possible so that I can be a daily uploader. I need good internet. And so I've been pleased over the years that cruise lines have done that. I mean, I think, some of the scaling back, like, where you can't get room service for free, or, even simple stuff like you can't get escargot every night. Those kind of things really drew me to cruising. I was like, oh, some of my favorite weird food is there every night. So, but at the same time, I'm also a little bit of an agent of chaos, and so I like change. And so I feel better when things are changing, right? And I feel comfortable when things are changing. So I'm just kind of a roll with the punch. Like, okay, if instead of saying, oh, this sucks because it's not like this now, I'm more leaning to, wow, this is amazing because this is like this now. So I try to tend to find the amazing and let go of the past, because you really, I mean, even whatever happened a moment ago, you can't change it, right? So why waste any effort bemoaning the past? Oh, I wish we could still shoot skeet off the back. It's like, all right, well, why are you wasting your energy on that? You can't shoot skeet off the back, and that was 15 years ago. Why don't you focus on the thing that's good now? And that's the way my brain works. And again, no harshing on anybody that doesn't think like that, but I guess that's what makes it hard for me to answer. I would have to catalog what's changed and then feel bad about it and then be able to talk about it, but I don't think I'm wired like that. Tell us about the internet on World America. Why is it so much? Lucia, I don't have any insight as to why they charge for whatever. I know technology is expensive. I know most everything on the cruise ship that can be a profit center will be a profit center. And they probably also gauge whether or not people are paying for it at that price. So if you had internet and everybody bought it and didn't say much about it, then maybe you're not charging enough, so you have to charge more. But yeah, I don't know. EJ, what is your favorite casino game? When I played a lot recently, so for like the first 20-something years that I gambled, all I played was craps. And then a couple years ago, I learned how to play blackjack. I do like the sitting. I like the sound of the cards, and I like the repetitiveness of blackjack and just thinking about the decisions, that kind of thing, and sitting in the chair. But there's still nothing more fun and more social than a hot dice craps game. Larry Fine, RIP Midnight Pizza, maybe like 2 a.m. pizza. Like, they have 2 a.m. pizza here. They have 2 a.m. pizza on Royal. They have some late night. I don't know where Carnival's cutoff is now anymore. Question, do you often interact with your YouTube cruising colleagues? Yeah, Dean, especially in the beginning, I kind of spread the net wide and tried to get to know a lot of people. And I was a little Pollyannic in it, thinking everybody was like cool and decent people. And then you learn over time that not everybody is cool and decent. And so now my circle is smaller. So the people that I kind of understood to be cool and decent, I probably interact with them more. It's always nice to have, it's a pretty solitary thing. I got Jenny and we talk about YouTube and, the business side. And we do all that kind of stuff, making content. And but there's only a few other people that I'll have those conversations with, and it's nice to have those conversations. But I realized as I used to believe, like I said, naively believe that the creativity was exponentially good the more creative people that you got together, and I just learned that wasn't true. So that's a sad reality. Let's see. Lisa, are you traveling by yourself? Well, yeah, I mean, technically I'm by myself, but there's also 6,600 other people on the ship, not counting the crew. But yeah, I'm solo on this one. This was an invite cruise for me by MSC, so it's kind of more like a work thing than anything, but I'm definitely missing having somebody in my cabin with me, my lady, or even like my brother-in-law. It'd be nice to have somebody to chop it up with. Are they 110 outlets by the beds? Hanging with the Hordes, there's no outlets by these beds. So yeah, you gotta You got to make an extension cord plan. The power's on the desk here. There is some. What I got to figure out is our friend Matt said that you could use USB for my CPAP machine, and if that was true, that would be great because there's USB-C and USB-A by the bed. Food Demolisher is a sweet class worth it. I've never paid for the sweet class. I was fortunate that NCL brought me on board to make some videos about the Haven. That was probably the nicest cruise experience I ever had. Probably even nicer because I didn't have to pay for it. I think if you got the Jack and you don't mind spending that money, it's probably the nicest way to cruise. I've heard the Yacht Club is super nice on here, but obviously that's going to cost more. So I think it just depends on your budget. I think if you got the money, yeah, sweet it up. But I don't know. I don't know if that's for everybody. Eddie Ray, did you bring any jug? No, that's what I said. I went home after filming the last show in the studio, and I think all my bean bags, all my juggling bean bags, which would be the best for the ship, were still there. Because I went up and toured, when I was on the top decks the other day, they've got a nice enclosed basketball court, and nobody was up there, and I was like, man, if I had my camera and some bean bags, I could get some good footage of some 5-ball, but did not work. Let's see. Question: could you bring a guest? I could have brought a guest, and I do that sometimes. So like, I think I got Steve. Well, no, the Steve is. We paid for Star of the Seas, and so Steve's going to go on that. But yeah, like the NCL that Steve's on, that was an invite. I was able to bring a guest. I could have brought a guest on this one. But the challenging thing, honestly, though, on these work things where you got to still make videos during the day, is really hard. Even when Jenny's with me, it's hard to make the daily video with somebody else in the cabin because you got to get them up and you got to get them out of the way. And, you know, like for me, I'm making the bed myself sometimes in the morning. And so if I plan on doing any work, what I like to do when I cruise with Jenny is just not make videos, right? Like just try to, you know, put 1 or 2 up for the week, which doesn't always work well for what I'm trying to do with YouTube. But it's hard. I mean, it's hard when you got 2 people in the cabin to make videos. So, like for this one, I knew I needed to come here and focus on the stuff that MSC wanted me to focus on. So, I'm here solo. But it's not as fun as being here with somebody else. Let's see. Speaking of extension cords, power strips on board a ship are a thing of the past. I don't know. I mean, this is my anchor. I got 2. So, I got 2 USB-As. 2 USB-Cs and 2 110s. So I don't know if that counts as a power strip. It doesn't have a surge protector in it, but this is what I travel with. I think only Royal may tell me no. I got to remember that for my Royal trip. They don't want this part anymore. They just want this part. So I got to find something with just this part. But yeah, check the rules. Check your band part, your band list. Have you used anything like GigSky instead of the ship internet? I have not tried that, Karen. If you do try it, I'd love to hear how it is. Now, I'm just old school. I just use the internet that they sell, and then when I'm in port, so like in Puerto Plata, I uploaded that video through the cellular network, and then I uploaded the Puerto Rico video yesterday off of the cellular network. But then the podcast that I uploaded, the 6 gig podcast, was through the ship internet. Kaylee, I'm not going to dance today. I don't usually dance live. At some point, I'll have a good system for that where I can get the music going and all that, but you just give me a minute. I can wave my hands a little bit. Dancing Queen. I am in a balcony. I haven't showed the view in a while. Anybody want to see the view? I do have, man, see, the thing is I ate lunch at like noon. And because of these shots, I'm not hungry, but I've got to go do the Greek thing at 5:30. So I'll power my way through seeing some of that. But yeah, we got 7 more minutes. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you could, and we'll keep talking. Yoang, I'm always feeling like I'm lugging so much of my YouTuber gear around. How much gear do you bring on board? Mine is basically a carry-on. Not much anymore, really. I film so much with my phone. And the 360 camera. I mean, most everything fits in my backpack. I'll show you my backpack. It's not very big. This is really what I carry most of my stuff in. So I'm celebrating 1 year with that backpack. We were looking at it. We're trying to put some of our expenses together, and I was like looking at the Amazon orders, and I was like, oh, it's 1 year with the backpack. Uh, Kaylee, yeah, it depends on the invite, depends on the cruise line, but on this one I am doing some excursions that they're paying for on Ocean Key. I got the excursions, the paint and sip, and the tram thing. I'm not using anything for portable lighting, Sean. I should. TikTok, man, TikTok will get you to buy some stuff. I saw a really small portable light that looked really good. So right now I'm just using sunlight, and then I have the overhead light on. It's a little yellow. It's not like the best lighting, but most of the time I just use the power of the sun. Post a link for the Anchor device. Yeah, I can do that. Let me see if it's still on my Amazon. Hold, please. Maybe. Posting a link for the Anchor. When do you think I bought that? Let's see. I'm just going to type Anchor in my past orders. Anchor. September. Oh, I bought it on September the 11th, 2023. There's probably like a newer version of this. And it's cheaper than when I bought it. Let's see. Let me find the link. Get link. Copy. There's the Anchor link. Question from Dean. Have you had or witnessed any customs hassles in your travel? I don't particularly think I've seen any hassles. I mean, I've had security before where I've had to unpack my whole bag before, but nothing customs related. Which non-luxury cruise line has the best food? It's a tough one to answer, Ryan. Because I would probably split it up. I would say like included food maybe goes to Carnival if you're looking at like Guys and Blue Iguana and the deli. But best buffet for me would be a toss-up between Princess and Celebrity. I think best MDR is Holland America line. So it's kind of it's tough. And then this has got some good food too, so this might be in the mix. Have you eaten in the MDR? Are you able to sit by yourself, or must you join another table? I did eat in the MDR the first night. I did sit by myself. They're very nice, just a table for two, and it was good. Just Joanne, any towel animals? No towel animals, but I did run into a couple that watched the show who are staying in the yacht club, and apparently they're getting towel animals on the daily. So, yeah, what the heck? I could do some good bits if I had some towel animals. You're welcome. How does fat cat to slim cat? How does seat time at slots equate to perks and comps in the casino? I don't think. Well, I mean, I understand what you're asking. Basically, most of these cruise lines are all connected on a computer, right? So if you put your card in, it's going to give you some sort of point value every time that you spin the slot, every time you spin the reels. And eventually those points equate to perks and comps. So it's going to be different on everything. But when you go on a cruise line, or you could probably call the casino for each cruise line and say, all right, how much does it cost for 1 point? And then how many points do I have to start getting stuff? That's different, Share the link for the backpack. Yeah, I mean, I got the Amazon up over here. Let me see. All right, I thought I had the Amazon. There it is, Amazon. Orders. Let me go back to my orders. The backpack's nice too because you can put a battery in there and it's got some chargers on the side. Like you can connect it's nice at the airport. Backpack. Smart backpack. And there's the backpack link. Question, we've been to the NCL island, first time on Princess. How do you rate their private island compared to NCL? I don't remember much about Princess's private island. I did like NCL, I like private islands that have a pool, which neither one of those have a pool. But I just remember, I feel like NCL's drink package worked on the island. I thought the lighthouse looked cool and the beaches were nice, and there was a lot of good walking around and food places. But I don't remember much about the Princess one. Bill said we booked the rear corner balcony with 2 windows and a wraparound balcony. I haven't seen them, Bill. I'm here on deck 11. I think I'm in some sort of cutout or something like that, but I haven't seen the things that you're talking about. One seller, first time here. Do you live on cruise ships? No, I don't. I live in Florida. I try to limit my cruising to 1 week a month or one trip a month. I actually was off for about 90 days at home, and so yeah, this is a week at the beginning of August, and then I'm doing 3 days on the 20th of August on the new Star of the Seas, and then I think the only thing I have in September, we dropped our Carnival Conquest, so because to fill in that slot on Star of the Seas for a week, I felt like I'd probably get a better week's worth of footage on Star of the Seas than on Conquest, so I'll be on there. Which line's the next trip? Royal. I haven't been on Royal in a while either, so I'm looking forward to that. Is the Boston seaport very large? I ported in Boston before. It's very industrial over there. I don't know how large it is. Yeah, Pete, I used to carry these small. I carried several kinds of these small lights. I really need to come up with a good lighting solution because there are sometimes I get annoyed that the lights are not good. All right, I'll do about 5 more minutes. I probably just have to change shirts for dinner. The Greek place looks pretty casual. I should be able to go in my short pants. My short pants. I don't know what to have at the Greek place, though. There's a lot on the menu. They do have some grilled octopus, which I do like that. I don't know. I'm not even hungry. That's the thing that's annoying me. Like, I'm going to just go have a couple bites of everything. Like, oh, great. Any final questions? The wife is in the chat. Do you need her for anything, Majestic Harvest, or what's the? I always get weirded out when people are looking for my wife. I'm very protective of my wife. Trans-Pacific to Japan in October. Where to stay after the cruise? In Japan? I don't know. I've never done that. That sounds nice. Do you do any other type of travel? We did a road trip this year. That was the thing I was talking to about Jenny because, again, I think she doesn't like to cruise as much as I do. I mean, I don't know. We both are kind of the place where we do love to cruise. Maybe once a month is good for me. Once every few months is good for her. But I do want to start doing some more stuff with her on land. So I think maybe we might do some other type of travel. I'm not really into like all inclusive. I don't really care to go to the beach, but there's so much stuff to do in the U.S. So arcade and arcade travel, they got like two big arcades. They got an arcade on deck 6 and they got an arcade up on, I think, deck 20. It's nice. Mark Hiller, I enjoyed Puerto Plata. I just looked at it out this door the whole time, so it was good. Yeah, there's shows tonight, so I'm going to go stand in line at 8 p.m. for the Whitney Houston that I didn't get to book. But then there's one tonight called, it's another show. So the Whitney Houston is in that Panorama, which I hear is fantastic, that show. Let me look at my personal agenda here. So I got Paxos, the Greek Taverna, at 5:30. And then the show tonight's called Momentous. Momentous. Let me see. Oh, it's Moments of Magic. It's one of the largest illusion shows ever. This is what it looks like. So, this is pretty neat. Like, it'll tell you that you have it reserved. This app's really good, so I've got it booked. But the same thing that it says for the Whitney Houston, but they do have other seats if people don't show up. So, Blessed Nettie, I'm enjoying the ship. It's big. Kaylee, I don't think we're RV people either. So. We might start exploring some Airbnb stuff, like interesting Airbnb. We've talked about that a little bit. Have you been on Regal Princess? I feel like the answer is yes, but I don't know for sure. I get all those princess ships confused, if I'm honest. We will be sailing on an 8-week-old princess ship in December. Think all the gremlins will be gone. No. 8 weeks in, I don't think so. I think, like, if you think of Sun Princess last year, it took a good 6 or 7 months. I don't think you'll have a bad time, but I wouldn't expect it to be gremlin free. we're going to be on it in December the 12th, I think. So we'll be in the same boat as you. Do they open bookings for shows before embarkation? If they do, Sue, I didn't notice it. As soon as I got on embarkation, so they have a big kiosk also. So you can get on the app and book, but then I think I booked most of mine by the kiosk, by the elevator. I just started like, oh, I saw somebody book a show, and I'm like, oh, I wonder if I... Because some cruise lines are like that. Royal's like that. You want to book your shows and your dinners, like your specialty, pretty quick. And so I just started booking stuff. I saw it's on me. I could have booked the Whitney Houston, and I'm like, oh, maybe I don't need to see all these shows. And I do like Whitney Houston, but then after that Queen show was so amazing, I was like, oh, I can't believe I didn't book that Whitney show. So, yeah. Let's see. Is there light available in the room to get? Yeah, there's a kind of a night light. I think I've been leaving the bathroom light on. Yeah, so everybody's saying you can't really book them till you get on the ship. There was a Lego parade today, which was wild. All right, I think if I didn't have that dinner, I would go another hour, but I don't want to miss that dinner, right? I got to go get some footage of the Greek food. So thanks everybody for stopping by. Thanks for all the likes and all the super chats and all the great questions. And yeah, please follow me, Tony Barnett, on Facebook. Follow La Loca Cruising on Facebook, especially if you want to find out more about YouTube. I'm going to try to put together a YouTube video, and I'll be asking for input for questions for that. But yeah, thank you guys. On behalf of me and the lovely Jenny B, my name's Tony, and we'll see you on the Lido.